hello to Quinn Has Wings, LT Bago, Harry Green, and all my other viewers. Welcome to a rather different Scrabble Saturday. So, normally on this stream, I would challenge you all to a game of Scrabble on woogles.io, our favourite Scrabble playing website. However, today I will be casting 3 games from a home tournament that fellow Scrabble streamer Heroin to Birds is competing in. This is going to be a bit stressful for me because I've never done anything like this before, and I've desperately been trying to get it all set up. So I apologise in advance for any technical issues that we experience. And I will do my best to do some Scrabble casting. So this is a 6-game tournament. The first 3 games have already been completed. They were casted by former national champion and very talented Scrabble player Will Anderson, known on Twitch as Wanderer15. I'm going to go ahead and give some shout outs. First of all, let's shout out Heron to Birds. So, this is the person who is playing in the tournament whose games we will be casting, who is an awesome streamer in her own right and definitely deserves a follow. Besides Scrabble, she also plays Codenames and Jackbox Party Packs at the moment. And I think I have to wait a few minutes before I do a second shout out, but at some point I'll shout out Wanderer15 as well. Another excellent Scrabble content creator who is casting the first few streams. So I have been given a video feed to the tournament, from which I should be able to see what tiles Heron to Birds has, but not what tiles her opponent has. And if my overlay is set up correctly, I can point at it. There it is. I believe they're going to be resuming in about 5 minutes. I don't know exactly. Heron to Birds, the first 3 games were broadcast on Heron to Birds stream, and she did say she was going to raid in here when they were ready to resume, in order to bring across everybody who is viewing the first 3 games. So once that happens, I will begin the stream in earnest, but I think they were having a lunch break first, so what you see on the screen at the moment is not them starting the game, it's them having their lunch break. Yes, in I think 5 minutes-ish, we should get started. So yes, apologies to anybody who was hoping to play a game of Scrabble tonight. Unfortunately, it will have to wait till next week, but I will be resuming my normal content next week with the Saturday night Scrabble streams. Tibago says, I have to say I'm very much enjoying Gertrude being surprised that her terminally online moderator is terminally online. I'm not surprised that you're terminally online, Tibago. I'm surprised when you're terminally online in the same stream as me. That is specifically the thing I'm surprised about. I'll stay off of that view for now until they're actually setting up the game. So I do have a analysis board set up in Woogles. Because it's not particularly easy to see from the camera what plays are being made and what is on the rack sometimes. So that should provide a clearer picture for viewers, assuming the overlay of setup works. It also means I can use the Woogles analyzer to spot the best plays, as unlike Wanderer15, I don't see them immediately. Also, if anybody wanted to do any redeems like stretching or showing outfits and stuff, you can still do them, but I'll wait until we're between games in order to actually do them, because I'll need to concentrate on the game itself. Which, to be fair, I do anyway when we're playing Scrabble, but particularly so today. T-Bag, well, no, of course you're not stalking me, T-Bago. You've just followed the same people that I do, because I raided my stream into them and you were there and you decided to follow them. Like, I've only got myself to blame for doing those raids if I didn't want you there. Thank you to everybody who redeemed their flower of the day. There's something wrong with the bot. It's not doing the flower automatically, so I had to do it manually. But it looks like LT Bagger received his favourite flower, the daffodil. So I'm trying to look at the analysis board, the feed, Twitch chat and Twitch studio all at the same time, and unfortunately I don't have enough eyes. I will actually leave the camera on that one, just so I don't miss when they come back because I was looking in the wrong place. Just get more eyes. I suppose I could put my glasses on. That doesn't count. That doesn't actually. I know people call it 4 eyes, but it doesn't actually give you that level of vision ability. I think I'm alright for the time being. Let me just check that this is the full overlay. It's surprisingly tricky to actually align these things in Twitch Studio. Yeah, like this was supposed to be centered and somehow it isn't. That sort of thing. There we go. But I'm expecting a raid as a signal that I actually need to start, so I'm leaving it on the screen between games. I do have also the tournament pairings on one of my screens, so I know who is playing in what round. There we go, there's the raid. Apologies for the lack of on-screen raid message. I haven't bothered to put alerts on this overlay. Welcome in, Heroin to Birds, and your party of 5 viewers. Best of luck in your remaining games of this tournament. And hello also to Florora. Thank you for joining us on the raid. Hello to everybody else who raided in. It might be more people joining. I suspect some people probably switched the stream off during lunch, so hopefully they know to come here when they come back. But if so, we should be joined by more people later. Hello, Matcha. No, not Matcha Catcher. Why did I think Matcha Catcher was here? Because I saw a green name. Hello, Battler Britain. Welcome to a rather different Scrabble Saturday, where we're going to be commentating on some tournament games being played by Heron to Birds, who is that person there in the chat. You'll be ready to go shortly. Yes, I already shouted you out just before the raid, and the only new people here came in on the raid, so they already know who you are. But yes, Heidi Robertson, Heron to Birds, the player whose perspective we are seeing for these next 3 games, is a very talented Scrabble player, certainly more talented than me. And yeah, since these are proper tournament games, they're using the tournament time controls, so you do get a full 25 minutes per side, which is a lot longer than we usually play online. So it's likely to take 3 hours-ish to get through the 3 games, give or take. So that is probably going to be everything that I stream today. We'll see how we feel afterwards. I think they might be getting set up now. Yes, looks like they're doing stuff with Scrabble tiles. So let's head over to this. I think I have the right opponent name there. That's who it says it's going to be according to the Woogles tournament interface. I don't know who's starting, but we'll find out soon. And then I can type their plays into Woogles. So, yes, Jeremy Hildebrand. So Heidi Robertson is Her Interbirds. Sorry, I may not have made that clear. And I am Gertchie, and I am not playing in the tournament, but I'm casting it. Hello, Cyberquad. Welcome in. Hope you are doing well today. And welcome, Elfie. So good to have you here. Apologies, my Flower of the Day thingy is broken. So let me just go ahead and manually give you a flower. There we go. Quinn Has Wings is friends with Jeremy. That's nice to hear. Yeah, I'm sort of not really part of the Scrabble community in IRL, if you like. Although I'm acquainted with many of them online. I live in the UK, and the majority of them live in Canada or the USA, and I have never really had the opportunity to meet them, but maybe that will change in future, who knows. Cyberquad, you are playing in the NWL division. Well, very best of luck to you then, with your remaining games. I spelt Elfie's name wrong. Hang on. Sorry about this. Elfie 55. So that, yeah, whoever Elfie 55 is, they've now got a flower. You do play both lexicons. Okay. Right. Looks like they might be doing some Scrabble now. So. We were having issues with the camera earlier, but it looks like things are not too bad now. And what I can do is enter in Herrenbird's tiles, like this. Who is starting? Unfortunately, I can't tell which way up the board is just by looking at this. If I miss things, by the way, like plays or racks or stuff, I might. If people are able to see them, that would be good. Okay, Herrenberg is starting, which is not what I had. So she plays Fun, I think that is. Sorry, I will analyse Herrenbird's plays once I know she's actually going to play. You like Bun there? Yeah, that's true. By the way, I do have the my Define bot running, so you can check if words are valid. They are playing in the Collins lexicon for reference. So the player Vex is made above Fun by Jeremy for 29. And we have DBAARNS on the rack. So yes, there are bingos in this position. Quinn spotting them straight away. Some of the more experienced Scrabblers in the chat may spot the bingo here, but I shall spoil it anyway because that's what I'm here for. She does have the play of Sandbar. Hooking Fun with either an S or a D, as well as Bandars. And of the two, Bandars would be the slightly higher scoring but the slightly less common play. She is instead going to go ahead and play Bad, is that? For 20. To be fair, neither of those words are particularly easy to find. Florora says, this is getting funny. You're telling me that they used to spell bun with 2 N's. Well, sometimes they spell it with 2 N's and a Y, would you believe? So, okay, we draw the rack of Ousnarj. No bingos this time. What is that word? Oh, okay. So opponent drawing both blanks. And able to bingo with that. I might not be able to tell what bingo they've played. What did they have? Blank Ahlias. I'm going to guess Dahlias. Dahlias. So that's like that for 80 points. Obviously, always fortunate when you pick up both blanks, but you've still got to find the word and make the most of them. So back to this rack. No bingos available this turn. It was challenged, was it? Sorry, I was not looking. Whose play was challenged? And thank you, welcome back, Nesper, and thank you for lurking. Yeah, sorry, I've got to look at one screen to analyse the plays. Oh, Dahlias was challenged by Heron to Birds. Okay. Well, the play is valid, so I think that increased the score by 5. Apologies if it didn't. So in this position, there's this word which I've never heard of. Thank you for showing me a sad face. Enduja for 26 is the computer's preferred play, although I wouldn't have played that because I don't know it. I would probably have just played Haj, which also scores 26, but doesn't get rid of the U. John is also in Soju. Soju is the highest scoring play, but the analyzer doesn't like playing off the S into the triple lane, and I have to say I agree with it in that regard. Isn't there a word like that? Yes, that's a word. So given an O instead of an A, if we were playing if only variant or flip variant of Scrabble, then there would be a bingo available, but there isn't. So we'll see what Heron to Birds decides to play. I'm kind of surprised that she challenged Dahlia, however you say it. Assuming the blanks had been correctly announced when she challenged. I realise I'm a botanist and therefore more likely to know Scrabble, more likely to know flower words in Scrabble, but I feel like that's a commonly known flower. Hello, Adam. Welcome back to Heron to Birds Plays in Scrabble tournament. Now coming to you from my stream. A flower word on the Gertrude stream seems apt. Yes, I'm glad they waited till round 4 to play that one. Welcome in Zando Toaster. Thank you for redeeming your flower of the day. I'm afraid I've got to hand them out manually at the moment, so let's just do that. As if this wasn't stressful enough, my bot is not working properly. But welcome to both of you. Zando, this is not our usual Scrabble Saturday. We are casting a live over the board Scrabble tournament instead. And Heron to Birds is having a think about this, but is finally playing J something something. Was that Jora she's played? I think so. That. Yeah, which isn't good. So, yeah, just to show, it is not in any lexicon. Okay, so she did commit that play, so that's, I need to do that in here as well. Okay, it was challenged off. So then just simply chi from Jeremy. And possibly the single most common word played in Scrabble, obvious way to get rid of your Q. Obviously we don't know what tiles, other tiles Jeremy has, but you can never go wrong with chi if you're holding a Q and there's a spot available for it. So we have the same tiles again, and not the same set of plays available because the best plays in the previous turn have now been blocked. I would still probably play hard here. Computer also suggests John for 2 more points. Which I always forget John is a word because I always think it's a proper noun, but it's probably a better play. It's the highest scoring play apart from putting an S on the end, which is not an improvement because you want to keep that S for future plays. But yes, hopefully she plays it safe this time and doesn't try anything funny. Okay, I didn't quite see what that was. The board should spin round in a moment, which will enlighten us. John seems fine, don't mind giving the U now. Yeah, good point. So ANJUOU comes down. That's what it says. Which is also phony. So 2 phonies in a row from Her and the Birds. Not quite sure what she's thinking here. So that's also going to be challenged off. And we look at the rank of journers. But yeah, so your opponent isn't going to give you an L to play through at this point because they've already seen your rack twice. So although you might want to look at it and think, oh no, I've got journals. If only they play an L, it's not going to happen. So Jeremy responding with, is that another bingo? Okay, yeah, hooking, dig and. GLOTTIS, is that glottis? If I'm reading that correctly. For another 71. So yeah, Jeremy up by 170 at this after that second bingo. Welcome in Andre with an I at the end. There's also Sauron. Unfortunately, a proper noun, but thanks for the suggestion. So glottis, yeah, glottis and glottal stop are not quite the same thing, I don't think. I think, isn't the glottis like part of the body? I have a dictionary here. Yeah, so the glottis is what you would use to produce a glottal stop. So at this point, Joe or Jar, or possibly Jaws, although that's using the S, seem to be the best available plays. And Her and Birds is indeed just going to play Joe. So finally getting rid of that J, making a valid word. Glottal stop is made with the glottis, yes, thank you. Jan. Also, welcome in, Jan. Sorry, I should say welcome to you. You need to play an air horn for when someone bingos. Well, I feel like we should all be supporting Heron Birds here, since we're watching from her perspective and she is our streamer friend. So maybe when she bingos, we can all go crazy and spam emotes in chat or something. Right, what was... Okay, so... Heron Birds is... shuffling the tiles so fast I can't really see them, but it's not her turn anyway, so I'll put it into the analyzer when it's back on her turn. She would have naturals through an L, but fishing the N off at L4, that's what you think of this game right now. Oh no, suggests Adam. I would advise against playing yet another phony, personally, Adam, but yes, that certainly sums up the game. Jan says, do you have anagram or something? I do indeed have anagram or something. Specifically, I have anagram. So feel free to try to anagram these words in your head as if you were playing over the board. But you are also welcome to type them into the bot and see that Ant Runs, in fact, does not have an anagram. Tibago would have fished for Frobscottle instead of playing Glottis. Tibago, you and your words. Sometimes you come up with amazing plays in these games. Yes, as Quinn points out, there are 9s available. There are not 9s available through the tiles that we have on the board, but there are 9s to be made with those letters, certainly. Sly from Glottis, taking away that triple spot, playing off a Y. Again, I can't see Jeremy's rack, but that sounds like a decent play. Dunart's an insurant. Okay, for lure of finding the 8s. The bot doesn't work properly with question mark as a blank, unfortunately. I will fix it at some point. You can anagram the letters of insurant to get insurant. That would still work. So, sorry, I never actually got around to typing this in. Heidi just playing nut there. Let's go ahead and put that on the board. Draws Pertns. Sorry, I sometimes I can't quite see when she's shuffling them what tiles she's got. But yes, so there are bingos available to her now if they don't get blocked by her opponent. Nice draw, as Adam says. Repants suggests Jan. That is not in fact one of the words, but that is so she finds in traps, which not only is one of the 4 words she could play as a bingo, but it's the highest scoring option if played here, underlapping nut. Okay, and she also found parents. Parents doesn't actually play. That's the only problem with that. But yes, in traps definitely does play. Panthers also plays in the same position for slightly fewer points. Obviously, maximum points come from positioning the P under the U here. But any bingo is good in this situation. Adam says percent for more defense at D10. That is indeed the remaining option, Adam. So well spotted. But being that far behind in traps all day, I think I would be inclined to agree with that. Yes, apologies. Not that you can't anagram with a blank at the moment with the Emery's bot. I will try to fix it when I can. Unfortunately, I haven't had much time to work on my Scrabble software over the last few weeks, as I've been extremely busy with my real job, the one that pays the bills, which unfortunately is not Scrabble nor streaming. I will be busy until mid-March, after which things should quieten down again, and I'll be able to work on things once more. Heron to Birds finding Napster. The file sharing service sadly never made it into the dictionary, which is a shame. So it looks like Jeremy has played under Nut, which does block. Sorry, I need to actually put the play in. Put the tiles back. So yeah, in traps is now the in traps and arpents are now the only playable bingos. So hopefully Heron to Birds is I do apologise, that's Cot not got, sorry. Doesn't change the situation regarding the available bingos, I don't think. Oh, actually, no, it does, because Scott plays, I think. So yes, Scott is good. So actually, yes, you can now play every single bingo of these letters because you can play off the S in Scott. So that means that percent is the highest scoring because it puts the P on the double letter. But again, any bingo find would be good here. I don't know if Heron to Birds knows. Don't know if Heron to Birds knows Scott. Because obviously if she does, she can play any of her bingos. Adam still likes in traps to keep the Scott hook open. Very good point, Adam. Yes, so the idea behind Cell was to reflect regional uses of English in different parts of the world, and ute is an extremely common term for a utility vehicle in Australia, what other places might call a truck or an SUV. So does go within traps, as Adam suggested, so nice find there. Still down by 100, but there's still time to come back potentially. Yes, so drawing for example a Z and placing it on this triple just here on the next turn, if it's still available, would be nice, certainly. Don't forget in CSW, Zar, Z and Zo are all words, so your options for playing a Z in that sort of spot do increase. Quinn says Passant keeps double options at 11E open besides creating a lane on column D, so I think you prefer that over what was played. Yeah, it's also the highest scoring play, Quinn, so yeah, there is definitely arguments to be made both ways. And I don't think I'm quite high level enough to be qualified to make them, honestly. Something's happening. Okay, we are drawing tiles. I was worried for a moment. But, okay, so A-R-I-U-I-E-C, oh dear. So not the best draw this time, picking up 5 vowels. Opponent just plays fad. Yeah, very sensibly blocking this scoring spot just in case there was a Z on this next rack. Ariquie. So I'm not sure what I would play here. And I've got the analyzer up to see the best plays. The highest scoring play that I know is Curie hooking fade, but as Florora points out, there are plays that would use up more vowels. The highest scoring play would be Syria here because that reaches the double. Which I didn't know was a word. Maybe that Erin de Birds knows it, but that still leaves IU, so not the best position. Curie A, leaving only an I is an option apparently. So yeah, Syria is another name for the compound cerium oxide. Quinn is suggesting Cowrie. Which is not actually in the computer suggestions. Which definitely, Cowrie hoping to draw the hook. That would definitely be an option. Trying to open things up when you're behind makes perfect sense. Quinn suggests that Jeremy is close to bingoing for a third time, blocking with fad instead of just fa. Yeah, I mean that is the sort of inference that you can make from these plays at a high level. Adam was suggesting Uteric. I mean, it definitely sounds plausible, doesn't it? Confusing with uretic. But yeah, Uteric meaning relating to the uterus could be a thing. So A-U-R-E-I comes down here, playing off 4 vowels, as suggested by Florora. Don't actually know the definition of that word. Oh, it's okay. It's a gold coin, right? Yes, Arius. That makes sense. You didn't know uretic. I think a lot of people know the word diuretic, which I suppose is a derivative of uretic. And yes, aurum is gold, as you point out. So we now have inner ice. Back with Jeremy, who may, as Quinn suggested, be close to a bingo. Jan says that uretic is hard to spell. Well, yeah, if you type uteric instead, I suppose. Also, I missed Jan suggesting Australia as a psyop created by Tom Cardy. Well, they went to a lot of trouble inventing a whole separate dialect for them just to cover up the psyop then. But there's certainly plenty of Australian dialect words available in the dictionary, especially in Collins. Erev to open a new quadrant. Interesting suggestion. Yeah, up here. Relatively low scoring play, but opening things up while you don't have a bingo available. Computer finds the highest play at the moment, yeah, of being just truce, just taking the triple. Yeah, Adam says Truce might score too much to do Erev just now. Yeah, it is 24 points. So CEDI played by Jeremy. Just here. which is, if in doubt, if you don't know what a Collins word is, there's good odds it's a currency. The currency of Ghana divided into 100 pesewas. Jan says, can you recommend a game like Scrabble, but where I don't need to know any words? Not really. We did try to play prime number Scrabble once, but trying to memorise 8-digit prime numbers is probably harder than memorising Collins words. But yeah, void Scrabble if you're a very fast typer. And can just try every possible permutation of your letters on each turn. Then you don't have to remember any words. So it's back with Heidi now with A-E-R-N-I-E-C-E. And yeah, Truce is still the best play. Is she playing? Oh, she's playing Rev, not Erev. Yeah, well, this is the thing, Jen. I don't actually think chess and Scrabble are that similar, despite both being played on boards with pieces and having big online followings. Perhaps, yeah. Setting up the hook, maybe. I don't think I would have kept a doubled E if I knew Erev. Yeah, it is. Erev is good. Just playing Rev. Apologies, my bot doesn't have definitions for a lot of the words, but if it doesn't put a star after it, then it is good. They are, yes, they're both being played on boards with pieces. That does cover quite a lot of games then. But yes, it's a Jewish word, well, a Hebrew word, I should say. I don't recall the exact definition. So still struggling with a vowel-heavy rack here. In hindsight, it was almost certainly correct to play off the the E, since we've drawn another one. Yeah, hooking the E here. Nice is available. Computer also suggests Eocene, which I didn't know is 2 more points. Also opens up a lot more. Whether you think that's a good idea or not. Hello, Ruby. Welcome to the stream, Ruby. I hope you are well. We are doing a slightly different Scrabble Saturday this evening. We are casting Heron to Bird's live participation in a Scrabble tournament. So I am not playing in a tournament. I am just casting 3 games, of which this is the first, between Heidi and, well, her first opponent is Jeremy Hildebrand. Ruby has just woken up and lives over on the west coast, where it is currently 12:30, which is quite late to wake up, although not as bad as if I'd just woken up. Hello, Slugbiker. Welcome back to this Scrabble tournament. I did see you over on Heron to Bird's channel earlier. So Jeremy finds Wisher here. Nice overlapping play. Let's just get that on the board. And then E-I-C-O-N-E. Yeah, still Nice or Eocene. So Nice actually now becomes a much better play because you have the option of playing it down here rather than using the Erev hook previously advised. And yeah, Heidi wastes no time in finding that. Go ahead and commit that play. Sorry, every time I click the button to commit a play, it scrolls, wiggles down in my browser, which throws out my carefully positioned overlay. Oh, Jan points out that Erev is also spelled Ereb more commonly. I suspect the Erev is more commonly played in Scrabble, just because you like to be able to get rid of a V sometimes. Quinn says there's some versions of Scrabble that use math equations. I can't say I've ever played those. They do sound part fascinating, part terrifying. And Slugbiker says, forgot how long the lunch break was for. Did you miss any excitement? Welcome back. Yeah, I think she said it was an hour, but it ended up only being half an hour. So you did miss Heron to Bird's phoning twice in a row. So her opponent bingoed and she unsuccessfully challenged. Then she phonied. Then she phonied again. Um, and yeah, unfortunately, is currently trailing by over 100 points. So not the best game so far for Herring Birds, but she did she won a game in the first half of the tournament, so not doing too badly. Right, sorry, I completely missed what was played there. Grab next to Rev. Sorry. I do need to remember to pay attention to the screen when I'm wittering on about stuff. So yet more bad luck with vowel draws here. Now holding 5 vowels and a Y. Jan says this game is too hard for you. I mean, drawing vowels like this, it's too hard for anyone. So in this position, just play off as much as you can, I would think. What does the computer say? Oh, the computer likes yom for 32, although I don't like the leave of E-I-I-U that would cause. UE up here is the top suggestion from the computer because it only leaves you with 3 vowels. But really any vowel heavy play. I did know Yui, but I wouldn't necessarily have spotted it with that 3 tile overlap. MOUE is another option, although that does leave 2 I's and a Y. So yeah, playing Yom, which is the highest scoring play. Obviously ending very vowel heavy, but maybe she'll draw 3 consonants and we'll be back in business. Yomi, suggested by Tibago, is unfortunately not a word. Otherwise, that would have been an option there as well. Okay, no, we did not improve our VAC with that play. Adam said, incoming Linguini draw, I believe. Sadly, no. She does not have Linguini. Now has 6 vowels. So the computer still says play on rather than exchange, even with the 6 vowels, because this word, which we've already seen once this game, is available again, as is Ouija, or Ouija, or however you pronounce it. And this is also a word, apparently, although I'd take the extra points since both of them play off 4 vowels. Yomi is a word that Jan recognises from Go the Board Game. Yes, it's a Japanese word, but it's not in the dictionary. Go jargon hasn't quite made it into the Scrabble dictionary, as Quinn suggests, although Atari, which is a Go word as well as a manufacturer of video games, is probably the one that would be the biggest candidate to make it in. Unfortunately, hasn't. No, you'll notice it's got a star after it and it says not in any lexicon, Jan. So Atari is not in the dictionary, in the Scrabble dictionary. I'm just pointing out that of all the Go lexicon, that's probably the one that has the biggest chance to make it in, but it hasn't. I mean, I suppose the word go and the word Dan and stuff like that are in the dictionary. Don't really count. Yes, so Ouija is the French word for yes, followed by the German word for yes. But that's not actually the origin of the name. All that matters for Scrabble dictionary purposes is it has been it has been used in the English language commonly. So we have another very nice overlap here of Kana. We were just talking about Japanese. Getting some use out of the K and making some nice overlaps of I, Nod and Ami. And that does open up a spot here to play through the triple, whilst still shedding a decent number of vowels. Obviously, these two players remain available. It would be funny if she does decide to play this, just because it's already on the board from earlier in the game. It's a fairly common vowel dump word in Scrabble. Jan is checking the word koseki, which is a Japanese family registry, recording the birth, marriages, deaths in a particular household. Yeah, that's not a high prob word if it ever did make it to the dictionary, given the 2 Ks. But an interesting little factoid to know. Yes, Jan Zugzwang is in. Definitely. Board game specific words definitely can make it to the dictionary. That's for sure. I mean, checkmate is in as well, for example. And Zwischenzug, yes. So what was that played over there? Did she play? What was it I saw earlier? Yeah, that was the one I saw earlier. So OugiyA. Which I suppose it gets rid of the G. If, like Axotypo, you believe that the G is the worst tile and should be played off at all costs. But it was worth fewer points than playing through here or here. Checkmate is obvious. It's why they use outside of chess. Yeah, that's true. It is true. Jan pointed out earlier, presumably pasting from somewhere, the popular belief that the we comes from French and German is a misconception. Yes. And Adam suggests it should have been named the Yesy board after English and Italian. So, okay, we finally have a reasonably balanced rack here. Vimental. Oops, no. Checkmate is used most widely in Australian restaurants. Oi, waiter, can I have the checkmate? I don't have a groan sound effect available to play on the stream, Adam, so you better keep the puns to a minimum. Okay, Jeremy playing across to the triple from Fader with Spewer, does that say? The board will come round in a minute and we can see. It does say Spewer. So with only 6 in the bag, I think time is running out for Aaron de Birds to make a comeback at this point, especially after that 46-point play. Very nice. But this is a tournament, and spread is a thing. So even if you feel the game is lost, you always want to try and minimise the deficit. By whatever means possible. I won't attempt to read out what Tibago has posted because I can't do an Australian accent and it would sound a bit offensive even if I could. So, I mean, yeah. I would probably have played one of these. Apparently Venite is a word. I did not know that word. That's the highest scoring play available. Virent, both keeping LM. But we don't really care what we are leaving at the moment since there are no tiles left in the bag, and either of these would allow an outplay on the next turn. Opponent has DOOOZE. So I think has an out in 2. Yeah, because they would have that. Although, hopefully this gets blocked, because otherwise that's another 60 points. We were talking earlier after the first bingo. It would be nice if Heidi was able to draw the Z, and sadly that didn't happen. Venite is the 95th psalm. Probably a liturgical thing. Yes, I would agree, Quinn. One of these days I would like to contribute some definitions for Collins words that aren't in Wiktionary. But it would be a big project. And they also won't accept unattested words, and some of the Collins words are unattested, so that wouldn't necessarily help. So just played Vim, I think that was there. 17. Leaving LENT, able to play out next turn. Opponent obviously holding DEOOOZ. And yeah, best play is either Doze or Ooze. Doze would be worth 3 more points down here. Couldn't he not play? Oh, he could play off. Oh, that's interesting. I'm not sure if he missed Doze or that is no, isn't it? Yeah. Not sure if he missed Doze or if he thought he wouldn't be able to play off 0-0 next turn. But there are spots available for that. And yeah, now that that's blocked, there is no outplay available here. Best option is actually that, which I didn't know. But also Leng or Tel or 10. Various ways to use 2 of the letters. 3 of the letters, keeping 1. But yes, down by 210 points. A bit unfortunate. Hopefully the next 2 games go better for Heidi. I don't believe it's possible to block the D and O that are left, because I can see at least 3 places on the board to play them. So okay, she does play NO, which is the highest scoring play available, and yeah, Doze here is going to be the best, but any of these really are going to be fine. And that will be the end. Where did he play? Sorry, can you spin the board back round? Okay, he played Do up here for 14, which was the second best play, and LT left over. So yeah, congratulations to Jeremy, winning by over 200 points in that game. Managed to get down 2 bingos, but also winning 2 challenges certainly helped. I don't know if Heron de Boers is going to pop into the chat before the next game. She did on previous games, but to be fair, that was on her stream. Let's just hop over to that screen for a moment. They seem to have knocked the camera over, so hopefully they fix that before the start of the next game, because we can't quite see all the board. Jan is saying, the sad thing is you went to school in Germany, so you had to learn Latin for 5 years and you didn't recognise that. Yeah, we don't tend to do Latin anymore in the UK, at least not in the sort of school I went to. Maybe the posher ones still do it. If in year to come, yes, German school. Trying not to teach 100 plus year outdated knowledge challenge. Latin is helpful. As a botanist, I definitely wish I'd been taught Latin, because although the names of plants, they're not real Latin words, but they're mostly Latin-derived words. If you know Latin, you know what those words mean. But no, I went to they don't call them comprehensive schools anymore, but I went to not a posh school. Ruby says the colour of the table is so satisfying. It is a very nice green, isn't it, Ruby? Latin is for parsing words and learning languages like French, Italian, or Spanish. Yes, a lot of more complex English words have their roots in either Latin or Greek, or sometimes both, like television. Flora regrets choosing to take Spanish in high school. Interesting. I did French and German, but I didn't do either of them to a particularly high level. So, my foreign language skills have never been very good. Fortunately, I'm English, and everyone else seems to speak English, so I've managed to get by in life. At least I can take some solace in knowing that I have learnt a lot of obscure English words in the pursuit of Scrabble. Jan says they have such cool courses in the US like business, debate, animation, technical arts. I don't think debate was a class, was it? Don't they have like a debate club as like an extracurricular activity in the US? But yeah, business studies is something you can do in the UK as a school subject. Okay, I think they've realised their camera problem and are now attempting to fix it. Okay, yeah, that's a decent angle. She's watching the stream. Hello, Heroin to Birds. Yes. Sorry. Commiserations for your performance in that game. Yes. Losing by over 200 points. Also, the double phony was a bit unfortunate, but a lot of that was just bad luck with tile draws. I mean, you had very vowel heavy racks for 3 or 4 turns in a row there, so that would have been difficult to recover from regardless. So yes, commiserations, and hope the next game goes a little better. Divago says, from what you've seen from people speaking English abroad, if somebody doesn't understand English, just speak English louder. For my experience, Divago, it's surprising how many people know English. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of streamers on Twitch whose native language is not English, but they are quite capable of carrying on a conversation and indeed a multi-hour stream in English. And it's very good that they are, because we get to enjoy that content. I need to actually do some stuff now. I need to change up my overlay to reflect the next opponent, which is going to be Noah Slatkov. That there. It's now game 5 of 6. And the scorers reset to 0. Quinn says, I wonder what the standings are of this tournament. I'm glad you asked, Quinn. I should actually probably have linked this earlier. And I sincerely apologise for not doing so. The tournament is... what I should do, Ruby, if I was organised, would be to have a bot command. The tournament is being recorded on Woogles, so you can go there, which I'll just pin that comment. There we go. Everything is being recorded on Woogles, so you can check the standings there. Herring Birds, I believe, has won 1 of her 4 games so far. I don't know what's going on with the rest of them, though. Need to get back into things here. Just Just one moment. Okay, looks like opponent is going first this time. I'm just trying to read the text on the board spaces to see that it's upside down, which indeed it is. And they are opening with cooled. So let's go ahead and get that down. The C is here. That's good to see. That's the right place to put it. And Heidi has drawn Harry Ann. Shout out to Harry Green if he's still here. Looks like she defeated Chris Tenden in round 2. Indeed, she did, yes. Jan says you're not going to say which word you see. Okay then. Let's see what Hound Bird sees. Chari for 26. There was also Anarchy available for 30, leaving just an R. The computer prefers that, but only very slightly. Despite the 4 points there, this is a worse leave, so could go either way. Oh, you saw a proper noun. Okay, I must have missed that. Sorry. Yes. Sorry, I should have had the standings link up there from the beginning. I should also have done the shout out by now to Wanderer15, who casted the first instalment of this tournament. He's not really active on Twitch, so I should probably shout him out via YouTube. Head on over there, follow Will for great YouTube content. I don't think we need to spot that bingo because Hound Birds has done it for us. Imagine playing a German and they open with Aryan. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the word Aryan, Jan. It just describes an ethnicity. The fact that some members of that ethnicity got up to some shenanigans in the past does not mean that it's a bad word. Sorry, thanks, T-Bago. Welcome in, Matcha Catcher. Welcome back to this tournament. Thank you for redeeming your flower of the day. Apologies, the bot is broken at the moment. Right now there is nowhere to play dragons, but there is a very similar word that plays. I don't know if people can see what that is. It is dragoons. I say similar. Not similar in meaning, similar in spelling though. Does that still... Oh yes, it does still play after that response of wheel from Noah. Yeah, Gadroon's actually the best play because of the larger overlap, although I didn't know that one. I did know Dragoon. Yeah, Dragoon was like a military term. It was a type of military person, I guess. A mounted European infantryman armed with a firearm called by the same name. Yeah. So yes, it's not... Well, it is a word from a video game, but that was not its origin. You can actually just play dragons now by hooking wheel, so it might be that Hound Birds is looking at that. But Dragoons is still 3 more points. The Dragoon is a rideable machine in Kirby Air Ride. It is one of 2 extremely powerful legendary machines in the game, the other being the Hydra. Yes, well, it's also a military word. Adam says, stylistic difference, would you rather stick an A or an R in second position for that double lane? Yeah, that's very true. Or would you rather do this, I suppose, and open things down here? I think I would still go with Dragoons, even despite Adam's comment about the double-double. But opinions may vary. Also, a fantasy warrior carrying a lance with a pet dragon. Yes, that makes sense, Debago. Jan says, I bet in 200 years no one will have any idea what we are saying right now. English is extremely ambiguous and fast-paced. I don't think that's true, Jan. Almost every word of that sentence you just spoke was a word 200 years ago, and somebody would have understood. They wouldn't have understood what we were doing now. They would not understand the concept of live streaming at all, but that sentence would make sense to them. So, is that Dragoons? Yes, Dragoons does come down. With the 2-tile overlap. So, Hound Birds is the first to take the lead in this game with a bingo. If you're thinking of gonads, Jan, that doesn't have an R. You're quite right. Yeah, I mean, if you go back to Shakespeare and Chaucer, you do need. I mean, certainly Chaucer was Middle English, so that's not really the same language. And the average person can't understand Chaucer now without a guide, but Shakespeare, yes. It got challenged. Okay. Well, it's definitely a valid word. So collect an extra 5 points, Heidi. Heavy annotation. I mean, Shakespeare is sort of understandable, but the language has changed a lot since then. But the last 200 years, that only takes you back to the early 1800s. And, Jan's sentence includes words like I and we and are, which obviously mean exactly the same thing as they did then. Noah never even played Kirby. Well, or Jan, Noah is a massive Kirby fan and thought that the word comes from Kirby. It's the other option. Okay, so immediately responding with a bingo of his own, and drawing both the blanks. Okay. So this has not been Herring Birds' tournament for blank drawing. Both these last two games, she's been on the receiving end of a double blank bingo. Okay. Thanks, but I can't actually see what the other letters are. Heritage. Okay, thank you for confirming, Adam. Appreciate that. Let's go ahead and put that on. Obviously, many bingos available in that position. I can't spell. Heritage. Now we're selecting one of the many options that makes a double, which is the correct play. We now have UTVELIW. The dreaded UVW combination is on the rack. And there's nothing better than Wive here, I don't think. No. A few other 30-point plays, but you want to get rid of at least two of those three. Out of the WVU, you want to get rid of at least two of the three. So I expect to see Wive come down here, which indeed it does. Good. So that is enough to pull the score level again. Obviously, the The bingo of Heritage scored more than the bingo of Dragoons, even with the challenge. So Dragoons was 75 plus 5 for the successful challenge. Heritage was 90 because it covered up two pink double word score spaces, therefore multiplying its score by 4. And now we have 3 S's and X. Interesting rack. Could have done with more vowels, but maybe an X spot will present itself. Okay, so playing off the J with Egypt, which is quite a fun word. Scoring a impressive 36, and possibly Noah's in vowel trouble there, in which case that was a very good play to be able to make. Being a dialect form of idiot, I guess, is where that word comes from. Adam can make some non-PG words from this rack. I mean, you can make the word sluts, if that's what, Adam, you're alluding to. You're specifically looking at the word sex sluts through the E, Adam. You'll be relieved to hear that's not a word. Jan says big mistake and waste of... Wait, what's a big mistake? Oh, okay, you're not interested in reading boring novels. Okay, fair enough. Each to their own. So yeah, I mean, sluts under Egypt is actually probably the best play. Scoring 28 and making all these parallels. You wouldn't normally want to play off 2 S's, but when you've got 3 of them to spare, you might as well. Ruby says, how are you supposed to describe yourself? Well, you wouldn't be using the plural to describe yourself, Ruby. But I'm sure, Ruby, we can think of many words to describe you that are not quite as crude and offensive as that. Yes, Adam proposes a suggestion there, which I don't disagree with, Adam. Yeah, so we'll see if Heidi decides to play sluts, or even we had a game in the first half of the tournament where she was faced with a 3S rack and had the option of playing a plural to play off an extra S, and chose to keep the 2 S's. So it could be she plays slut singular and keeps the 2 S's. We don't know. Jan says, your question is, why is herring birds giving drugs to avians? Common misconception, Jan. Heroin with an E is not a drug. It is the female version of hero. Far from drugging birds, herring birds is in fact saving them from some calamity. Okay, doesn't find sluts or decides against it. Instead plays heritages and lust, which is still a fairly non-PG word. Does indeed decide against the playing the extra S. I believe that lust is a word, right? So had the option of playing off the second S and decided against it, as she did in the previous game. Yes, because it's a verb as well as a noun. Excus. Excus, a former swear word. Interesting definition, Adam. What do we have here? Xcunness. Okay. No fishing for excuses. Yeah, actually, she was close to having excuses actually, and that would have played from here. It would have been nice. But anyway, not the case. So Nexus available off of wheel. Just tucks from Rust, tripling the X, or just XU. Jan says, prepare for more 400 ELO plays from you. A whole 400 ELO, Jan. I'm impressed. I'm not sure. I don't have a over the board Scrabble rating, but I think I'd struggle to make 400 if I did. Hello, Izzy. Welcome to a slightly different than usual Scrabble Saturday, where I am casting a tournament from the perspective of Heron to Birds, who is a fellow Scrabble streamer. Sorry, my flower bot isn't working. Let me just give you a flower manually. There we go. Wait, no, T-Bago just did it. Okay, whoops. Izzy, you've got 2 flowers. Sorry. I don't have a take a flower away command. Let me manually take one of the flowers away from Izzy. There we go. Okay. Right, T-Bago, I'm doing this one, don't worry. Ruby J gets a flower. Yes, I've taken away the duplicate flower from Izzy. Sorry about that, Izzy. Right, so weblog response from Noah. Which I assume is a word. We tend to just say blog these days, but yeah, weblog is good. So Nexus probably still the best play in this situation. What was it? EXCSSNU. As he says, you're about to say you could just not redeem next time. Yeah, don't worry about it, is it? I've sorted it out now. Normally the bot would just give you the reward, and then the channel point thing is only redeemable once per stream. But my bot is having an off day. I think it's because it was in Heron to Birds stream before this one, and it got confused for whatever reason. And yeah, then I had to move it to this one. Now the eye is blocked, so maybe Nexus better than before we saw Noah's play. Yes, that's true actually, Quinn. You pointed out fewer floaters for CENSS. Yes, very true. Wouldn't want to mess up the flower economy. Yeah, Jen, I haven't really decided what I'm going to do with all these flowers once people have accumulated them. It's just a fun thing to... different streamers have this thing where you press a thing and it's, oh, this person has redeemed this thing X number of times. They've been to X number of streams. I thought I might as well make it a bit more interesting and give you a different flower every time and keep track of what flowers you've got, not just how many. It's one of those things that's supposed to keep people coming back to our streams because you feel, oh, if I go to the stream, I can redeem my flower. Okay, in the end, just playing XU here. That was an odd play given that XU here is available for 4 more points. But it gets rid of the X and the U, so it's not the worst play out there. Hopefully draws a more balanced rack now. That's a decent rack. SRENICS. Give me my flower, says Ruby. I did, Ruby. If you scroll up a bit, it says Ruby J has received Butterbur. They now have 12 flowers in their collection. So enjoy your butterbur. Biggest leaves of any native British plant, I think. They're about this big. Both my hands in the stream. They're huge. So there are some bingos available here. As Florora says, one of them is pretty obscure. Just need to put the next play in, which was Void. A hook available now. Heron to Birds, wishing there was a P in open space to play Princess. It looks like, but there are multiple bingos available here. The best one, which is not a word I've heard of, is Scrines for 75. But Discern's also available. I don't think I like playing here because of what it leaves open. But yeah, there are various places to play Saracens as well. Interesting what Scrines means. Plural form of scrine, okay. Chest or other box for storing valuables. I did not know that one. Yeah, Discern is the one you would know. It's also probably the worst positionally because of this. But yes, it's the one that I would have known. Therefore, I would have played it. I usually go with the attitude that any bingo is better than no bingo, even if it's bad positionally. And that seems to be what Heron to Birds has played. Let's just see what... I can't see, the camera's too bright. Yes, Discerns. I mean, quite possibly that she will be vindicated for that, unless the opponent triples, which is unlikely. Drawing the Q, unfortunately. At least we have an I and an U to go with it. Florora says when you play 5, the challenge rule becomes 5 points, and you must play Void, then it becomes Void. I guess it also becomes double challenge if you played the word double as well. Is that loot up there? I said the A hook here, but of course that's an O, so yeah, quite right that that's also an O hook. And Adam finding Antica. Oh, it's Zoot. Okay, in that case, yes, that's a very good play. Making good use of the Z. And leaving this S open for now. Adam finding the anagram of Antica here. Through the N. Obviously a quitter on the rack. No good. Interesting that there are actually... because of the positioning of this triple word score and the double just here, you can get bingo level scores just by playing off 5 tiles with words like quartz. But Antica does outscore any of these queers, queerist, quiets. These would score 75, 78, despite not being bingos. Quartz is certainly findable, I would think. Antica does give a lot back, as Adam says. I don't think I would even find Antica, so I would probably... I like to think I would find something like quiets or quartz in this position. Apparently quartz is also a word which I didn't know. Quartier actually good in Collins too, but doesn't fit. Okay. Yes, that would be through an R. This R doesn't give enough space, so quite right. You wouldn't want to retain the I. Yes, that is a good point. Playing here something like this or this. Retaining the I with 5 I's in the bag would definitely be bad. But quiets would play the I, so that would be okay. Yeah, so quartz, for that reason, quartz not such a good play. And that's how you end up with 3 I's on your rack, so very good point, Adam. Queritas is not going to do it, I don't think. So assuming it is being challenged, isn't it? So let's go ahead and woof that one off the board. But probably thinking if Query does. Okay, yes. Does give her a second chance to see some of those plays potentially, unless they get blocked now, which they may well do now that Noah knows that she has those tiles. I mean, she could have just played quartz. As Adam pointed out, that would be pretty bad in terms of leave because you risk drawing multiple eyes. Which, as Will explained much more eloquently than I could in the previous stream, multiple I's are bad. The I on its own is a good tile, but whereas the E, the O, and even to an extent the A can double up, the I really can't. Zoot is a funny word. I have to say I agree, Jen. So the thing is, the definition is slang for zoot suit. But I always thought if a word only appeared in a phrase, I thought if a word only appeared in one phrase, and that was the only place that word was used, it would never appear in isolation, that it didn't count as a dictionary word, but apparently it does. So, dimps from Noah, blocking most of the good cue plays. No, that's not how you spell dimps. Unfortunately, no bingos now. So she probably just wants to try to play off the cue somewhere else, such as quag, or squirt rather than quirt. So yeah, just drop the cue somewhere is going to be the play, I think. Could even just drop it on the eye, I suppose. As in this. Yeah, the computer would rather you get rid of the U on the same turn. So it prefers quag. Or even qua or quat, it would prefer over just chi, even though qua is fewer points. It just wants to get rid of the U, but you're quite right, chi is probably also fine. Quinn says it was an American subculture thing in the 30s and 40s. Yeah, it's just interesting that a slang term that's only used in one particular phrase has made it as a word in its own right into the dictionary, because that hasn't happened with a lot of other words in that situation. Quag, quag, not quag for quagmire. Yeah, okay. I don't know how to pronounce things. I'm a Scrabble player. I learn the spellings of words, but I don't learn the pronunciations. And I tend to pronounce it in a way that helps me remember how it's spelt, because that's what I need to know. So, what are we playing here? I can't see. It's too white. Quiet and wheeled. Yeah, I don't think wheeled is good. Yeah, that's unfortunate. So another double phony from Her Into Birds. Not things aren't going her way. And these last couple of games, I think it's safe to say. Yes, another woof. And another turn to try and use these letters. Yeah, I mean that would definitely have been the best play if it was a word, because it outscored the other available plays. So Faye from Noah, 37, very nice. Okay, Birds finally plays a valid word with quit for 32. Still could have just dropped the Q for chi. Yes, wield my sword, says Jen. I think she wasn't thinking of that. She was probably thinking of the word wheel and what extensions that might take. But it's only a noun, so you can't put ed on the end of it. But yes, it's from the same root as the word wealth. Yes, riches, Jan. We have Nareaor. The irony, this rat plus a U is a bingo. Well, there we go then. Chi was the right play all along. Can anybody see the bingo? While I try and figure out what was played. Fungi. Okay, yeah, fungi through here, tripling the F. Makes perfect sense. So the deficit now up to almost 100 points. And Aurorian, says Adam. Seems like it would be a word worth knowing, because that's a 6-vowel, 8-letter word. Definitely good for a clutch play in a bad situation, or when you find yourself with 6 vowels and still manage to pull a bingo out. Sorry, 5 vowel, not 6 vowel. But yes, a vowel heavy word. So what can we play here? I wish the camera didn't go over. It's because Heidi keeps brushing her arm in front of it. I think it makes the camera overexposed, and then we can't see what the play is. No, don't. Okay, if anybody caught the play. Aura was Raya. Yeah, okay. By the way, computer suggested arena, but that seems borderline unfindable. You've got to find 3-letter words where you're making the letters in the middle, which is very difficult to find. But that would have been the highest scoring play. Australis, also a word, says Quinn. Antrena. I need to pay attention when the words are played before somebody covers them up. So just par above dimps. Okay. Again, I can't really comment on whether these are good plays because I can't see the opponent's rack, but they seem pretty reasonable given the scoreline and the board situation. Dibago says, Saj, my Proto-Germanic word isn't valid. Anna. Yes, that would be a convenient one if it was valid. But you are quite correct, it is not. So 2 been played next to Lust. Just dropping Anne. Makes sense with this board, with this rack rather, undoubling your 2 double letters. Once again, Arena was the best play, but I don't think anyone's going to spot that. Yes, Adam also suggests re-earn and quite, which only drops 2 points compared to this. So yes, also a good play. But Anne coming down, fishing for a bingo, I guess, draws pretty well. What's that? It's that, isn't it? So no bingos available at the moment, just the board is a bit closed. Not many bingo lanes available. As things stand, this remains the best play, but as I say, borderline unfindable. I'm sure there are players who would find that, but I'm certainly not one of them. Yes, so Adam points out that re-earn, which is actually still playable now, also has the advantage of opening the board, giving 2 additional bingo lanes to play through. Looking at this rack, I can just see Anteater, which is not even close to being there. Yes, it's too late to fish for bingos now with 3 in the bag, absolutely. We are approaching the end of this game now as he just plays off Tyre, leaving 1 in the bag, which is always a good strategy. For complicated endgame reasons, you want your opponent to be the one who empties the bag, not you, because then that guarantees they can't bingo out, whereas you might be able to bingo out. So yeah, terrain would be available here, were it not for yeah. So okay, just plays cat. Go ahead and put that down. Draws Kerner. So opponent's tiles ABIIMNT. Let's go ahead and put those in. I suspect an out in 2 is possible here. Plays Bimmer for 42, which is the highest scoring player. I was about to say there are lots of plays available through this triple. Bait, Bant, Mint, Banny. But the highest scoring is Bimmer, so well found. Obvious spot to take. I don't actually know the meaning of that word. Yes, it is quite a Bimmer from Heidi's perspective. Okay, it's another Hebrew word. The raised platform in the front of a synagogue. The Torah is read on a podium. Okay, and Heidi responded with Ken, which was the best play for 30. No contest there, nothing else was close. And this is probably going to end the game because there's lots of ways to use these letters. T, I, and N. And that's going to make the final score 462 for Noah to 348 for How into birds. So, I mean, another good game. Not quite as big of a deficit as the previous game, but yes, another double failed challenge was unfortunate. The play of Queritas followed by Quiet, neither of which was, Quiet was good, but it made a word that wasn't good. Unfortunate, bad luck, how into birds, but Wheeled was no good. So yes, just left on the rack at the end there, adding 6 points to the opponent's score. So 2 games down, 1 game remaining. T-Bago has redeemed Drinkwater and Stretch. Thank you very much for doing that, T-Bago. I'm just going to quickly set up the interface for the next game before I do that. So we will be on game 6 of 6. And Heidi will be playing. The pairings are not yet available for this round. Okay, never mind. Once the pairings have been done for round 6, I will see who. So, Heron to Birds, hello. You saw Antica, but you phoned Noah with Antiquist. Antiquist or Antiquest back in the day, so got confused, can't keep anything straight. Yeah, bad luck, Heron to Birds. I was mentioning on stream that just something like Quartz, Quarts, for 75 was almost as good as the bingo, as a safe option if you were unsure of Antica, would have just been to take 75 rather than the bingo. Ruby says, you're a huge fan of opponent not yet available this round. I agree, Ruby. I think that's one of the players that Heron to Birds definitely has a chance against. Quinn says, neither Anti-Quest nor Pro-Quest are good. Yes. Yeah, so you confused Queritus and Queridas. Easy mistake to make. Those words sound almost the same said out loud anyway. But yes, only that one is good. But thank you for providing this content, Heron to Birds. It's much appreciated. Yes, Antiquist. We were making a joke. Antiquist like oldest, but also Anti-Quest and Pro-Quest are not words. Anyway, let's reset the board. And look. Yes, you're being silly, but it's also remember. So this is something to bear in mind when you're trying to learn Scrabble words. Is whatever silly method you have of remembering which words are good, if it works for you, it works for you. Stream. Thank you, Heron to Birds. This was an overlay very hastily thrown up at the last minute to try and cast this thing. It sort of works. Obviously, I'm just using Woogles. Every so often I scroll by mistake and then you can see that I'm using Woogles. But yeah, we have the scores, we have the rack, we have the board, and we have the tiles remaining. And I do also have the analyzer up, which is just as well because I would never spot any of these good plays myself. Anyway, time to drink water. And stretch. I apologise to my regular viewers who expect blow-highs and outfit showing off and all sorts of other crazy things on my stream, but we're sort of not doing that tonight. Normal service will resume tomorrow. Oh. Ow, 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 ow. Ruby says, Emma hasn't even been rude or homophobic during this cast. I mean, I would like to think, Ruby, that I'm never rude or homophobic during my streams. Well, rude maybe, but certainly not homophobic. As a queer person myself, that would be awfully hypocritical. Are you suggesting, Ruby, that other broadcasters have been rude or homophobic? Because obviously, prior to this, we had Wanderer15, who is an incredibly professional and dedicated content creator, and was very much neither of those things. So, yes, I still maintain that he is a much better choice for tournament broadcasts than myself, but there we go. Ruby is obviously alluding to a stream that I didn't manage to catch myself. But yes, I absolutely agree that homophobia has no place in this game. That shouldn't be a controversial statement. Camera is having an adventure again. It was fine where it was in that previous game, honestly. It was only when Heidi stuck her arm in front of it, and it seems to be very slow to adjust its exposure after that happens. But yes, if anybody did want to redeem something silly, this is probably your chance to do it, because we will shortly be moving on to the third and final game of my segment of this tournament. There are 6 games in total, of which Wanderer15 did 3 and I did 3. Let's see if the pairings are available yet. No, they are not. They're still putting the scores in for round 5. That's no problem. Okay. Do that in a moment. Let's go back to other overlay. As you can see, I spent a lot of time on this overlay. I hope you enjoy it. Fortunately, my stream has held up okay. I was a little bit worried about because I'm viewing a feed from the tournament. I'm therefore streaming that to myself and then restreaming it to you guys. I was wondering if my internet might decide that that's too much, but it seems to be doing okay. Match at Catcher redeeming drink water. I drunk it all, Matcha. I'll have to go and get some more. Let's see if I can get back in time before they start the next round. Additional water has been procured and should now be consumed. There. I hope you're happy, Matcha. I know nobody redeems stretch, but I'm doing it anyway. Oh, there we go. Anyway, good luck in your final game of the afternoon. Heron to birds. Now you've done that, I've got to do a proper stretch. That was my chair that made that noise, not me, I promise. Everybody else should be stretching and hydrating too, by the way. It's not just for streamers. Anybody who's been shrimping watching all these streams? Ruby says, can you tap dance? No, I can't. There's also no redemption for it, even if I could. I'm afraid I don't just do silly things on stream for no reason, Ruby. There has to be some sort of incentive. Since I haven't I haven't set up anything yet where people can pay money to make me do things, I don't have a I mean, I have, you can share bits, but I don't have anything integrated to pay bits to do anything or do a donation to do anything. So I'm afraid I'm not one of those streamers who does stupid things. I mean, your opinion whether you think this is a stupid thing, but I'm not one of those streamers. Jan says, should you also turn the screen off to protect your eyes? You may have difficulty following the game from the audio only, especially given the quality of my commentary. You're welcome to try. Tibago says, can you do a kickflip? No. I think I might be too old to learn to skateboard. I'm past the point where I can land awkwardly on concrete repeatedly and walk away unscathed. Dustin Dude has a do a kickflip redeem on his stream, but it's with a fingerboard, not a real skateboard, so make of that what you will. You've got a candy wrapper in your pocket and you're a streamer who does stupid things. I don't think you are, Ruby. I think you have nice cozy streams where you play point and click adventure games and occasionally go for a walk and steal people's cats. I mean, I think there's nothing wrong with that. Anyway, are we getting ready to set up the next game? In which case, good luck, errant birds. Just having a quick look at the tournament standings heading into the final game. Can I actually put them on screen somehow? Come on, Emma, be more organised. If we do that, yeah. So Muffin with Tentacle currently in first place with a 4-1 record. Likely to stay that way unless Noah can somehow win his next game by over 300 points with Muffin with Tentacle also losing. And Heidi, I mean, not last, Heidi. Take some solace in that. I think you lost by less than... Oh, your score isn't in yet. Hang on. Heidi might be last. I can't remember what the difference was in that previous game. But yes, very good performance from Muffin with Tentacle, as you would expect, since he is one of the top Scrabble players in the country. Ruby, you've got to get going for lunch with a friend. Talk to you later. Thank you for being here, Ruby. Thank you for dropping by and supporting Errant Birds. Much appreciated. And yes, enjoy your lunch. Good thing it was a late lunch, so you didn't oversleep and miss it. Sorry, I'm joking, Ruby. See you later. Okay, let's return to that one. Okay, right, okay. Heidi is currently in 6th place, only by 5 points. Only 5 points of spread, making the difference between 5th and 6th averages. As I was saying earlier, even if you think you're certainly lost in a game and you think you have no way of coming back, you should still continue pushing and try and extract every point you can from that game, because that might make the difference at the end of the tournament in terms of spread. So just an illustration of that concept. Yes, Matthew Tunnicliffe is Muffin with Tentacle. Let's do a quick shout out. Muffin with Tentacle with underscores. Muffin with underscores is the Twitch name. But as Scrabble nerds tend to do, he has anagrammed his real name into his online handle. Certain other people have done that, not least of whom is our very own Heron to Birds, which is an anagram of Heidi Robertson. My own name almost anagrams to Monbretia, which would be appropriate because that's a flower. Unfortunately, it just doesn't quite work because Emma has 2 M's in it. So my name anagrams to Monbretia, which is not quite as not quite as cool as Heron to Birds or Muffin with Tentacle. So I haven't adopted it as an online name, but it is a thing that Scrabble people tend to do, as you can see. Okay, the Woogles pairings are done. So the last round is all repeats, which you would expect given the size of the pool. Heidi is playing Chris Tenden, who she faced in round 2. So I'll just fix this. Go. I believe that was the game she won, so this is probably her best opportunity to win a second game. That would be nice. Heron to Bird says, I have a fun prize for NWL favourite play. Okay, interesting to see what that is. To de-emphasise just best score or winning. Okay, so there's a prize for the winner and a prize for the play that you like best. That's nice. Does the CSW division have a favourite play prize as well, or is it just NWL? I suppose there are fewer people in the Collins division. So I only switched over there to put the name in. What play was I most proud of and why? Out of your plays? Or out of everybody's plays? Of course, bear in mind I haven't seen many of the plays that were made in this tournament because obviously I was only looking at one of each game. I think I would have to watch back Will's stream to decide the very best play because I was still trying to get my overlay set up for the first 3 games, so I wasn't paying that much attention. And you made some good plays in those games. Yes, I agree with Florora in terms of the 2 games I've casted so far. Dragoons was probably the best play. But yes, I obviously don't know which NWL play was best because I haven't seen any of those games, but I'm sure some excellent plays were made. Apparently Collins people only care about winning. Therefore, there is no prize for best play. Well, that's a shame. Maybe you could award yourself the prize for being the Collins player who cares most about making nice plays rather than winning. LT Bago points out that his username is an anagram of Enjoy Tan, son. Right. Who wants to dox LT Bago? Joe Tanson? Joey Tanson? I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't try to dox anyone, but some people on here will have instantly seen it, I'm sure. Heaven to Birds was just saying that the best play prize. What play was each player's favourite and why? Great underlap, cool board vision, nice extension, etc. Absolutely, Heaven to Birds. Yes, we were just debating your best play of the tournament, and well, the tournament isn't over yet. That play could still be yet to come. But yes, do let us know who takes that prize, Heron to Birds. Maybe post in your Discord details of the, obviously details of the tournament as a whole, but also who got the best play prize and what that play was. That would be nice to share with everyone. Speaking of Discords, if anyone wants to join my Discord, there's a link just there, and I will also send a link to Heron to Birds Discord for those who want to follow the amazing streamer that we have seen so much of today. Heron to Birds Discord if anyone wants to join that. Heron to Birds says, I want to know what you were thinking about with abstrude. I assumed, and I think the rest of chat assumed, that you were confusing similar words such as abstruse and just thought that word was valid, which is an easy mistake to make. I think that's how most phonies come about, is they get confused with another word that is good. But yes, sadly there have been quite a lot of phonies by Heron to Birds, including 2 in a row in 2 consecutive games, which doesn't happen often. I mean, if to be fair, if one of them had got through, that would have been pretty nice. The problem is because they are playing 5-point challenge, rather than double challenge, the incentive to challenge is much higher. So, quick explanation for people who aren't familiar. Typically, when playing Scrabble with the NWL lexicon, they use what's called a double challenge rule, which is your opponent can challenge your play. And if it's a successful challenge, if they get it right and you played a word that's not in the dictionary, they get to continue with their turn. You lose your turn, have to take your tiles back. But with the CSW lexicon, typically what's played is called 5-point challenge. And the difference is with double challenge, the big difference is what happens if the challenge is wrong. Double challenge, if you incorrectly challenge, then you lose your turn. Whereas 5-point challenge, if you incorrectly challenge, all that happens is your opponent gets 5 points. So yeah, there's a lot more incentive to challenge a word that you're not completely sure about, and that makes it a lot harder to slip phonies past your opponent. Some would say that makes an NWL a more strategic game because there's this whole meta game of trying to get phonies past your opponent. Certainly, I believe Axatypo would be in favour of that sort of thing. Hello, Alice Sitz. Welcome in. I'm so glad you could be here. Yes, you made it. So we are doing something a little different today than our usual Scrabble Saturday. We are casting a Scrabble tournament that's been played IRL over the board in Canada by Heron to Birds, who is a fellow Scrabble streamer. and various members of her Scrabble club. So there have been 6 games today. 3 of them were cast on How Into Birds stream by Will Anderson, another top Scrabble player. And then there are 3 more games that I have been casting on my pokey little stream. I'm very honoured to have been invited to do tournament casting. It's not something I've ever done before, and I'm probably not very good at it, but never mind. So 2 of the games we've already had. We are just waiting for them to set up for the final game now. And I'm glad you managed to catch it. Both Alice and Castelotl, welcome into both of you. Hope your stream went well earlier on, Alice. And Joe Adultman, thank you for the lurk. Much appreciated. I know you were in the earlier stream over on How Into Birds channel as well. So thank you for sticking with us. Alice and Cass seem surprised to see each other. Surely you both knew you were here. Yes. Alice, by the way, just did her first stream as affiliate, and is a very cozy, relaxing streamer who streams Dwarf Romantic, one of my favourite games, as well as art and other such cozy things. Since we've got a bit of time here, I wasn't doing stream stuff tonight because I was concentrating on the games, but let's throw a shout out to Alice Sits. If you like cozy streams, you'll enjoy that one. Yes, I will repeat my congratulations on affiliate from earlier, and I'm honoured to be one of your founding subscribers. I always love to grab that founder badge from new affiliates whenever I can. And yeah, she tends to be on a bit earlier in the day than most people here would want, because this stream is mostly going to be Americans or North Americans, US and Canada people, because this is a Canadian tournament. But maybe there's some Europeans here who would be around to check out Alice's streams. I don't know how much of a break they're going to be taking before the next game. They pretty much went straight from Game 4 into Game 5, but Game 6, either the feed has crashed or they haven't started yet. Feed is still running, it looks like. Yeah, the numbers are ticking up, so I would assume they haven't started yet. Your stream schedule is all over the place because it doesn't exist. Don't worry about that, Alice. Yes, I can see the camera shaking, so the stream is still, the feed is still up. They just haven't started their final game. Alice says you've never seen a purple Scrabble. So yes, interesting bit of useless tournament Scrabble trivia. A lot of traditional Scrabble sets are made out of wood. So the tiles are a nice wood effect, but the way that they put letters onto the tiles with wooden Scrabble sets, the letter is like engraved into the tile. So in theory, and I'm not saying that anybody in this tournament would do this, but in theory you could put your hand into the bag and feel what letters are on the tiles if you're using a traditional Scrabble set. So for tournament Scrabble sets, they use special sets of tiles which are designed to be not just plastic, but plastic and injection molded in such a way that the surface of the tile is smooth and you can't feel any differences between the tiles. They do come in assorted bright colours. One reason to have tiles in different bright colours is if you're playing a tournament, that has multiple games going on simultaneously at adjacent tables. You don't want one table to accidentally mix their letters up with the adjacent table, which has happened. And then suddenly you have, one game's got 2 Z's in it and the other game hasn't got any, or something like that. So if the 2 adjacent tables are using different coloured tiles, that makes it very obvious. So yes, Scrabble tiles are available in a variety of bright colours nowadays. CyberQuad says delay because NWL game's not done yet. No problem. Thank you for pointing that out, CyberQuad. Yes, I should have noticed, and I apologise that I didn't. Noah actually finished that game with 12.5 minutes still on the clock, so only used half of the available time. Tournaments are played with 25 minutes of time per side, so games can go on for almost an hour. If there's overtime in effect, which there usually is, then you can actually go beyond the 25 minutes, but you lose points for doing so. That said, they should be done soon, I would hope. We have been... it was over an hour when round 5 started, rather. Let's just head over to Woogles, look at the NWL division, and okay, 3 of the 4 games have concluded, so that should be happening soon. Interesting. In the NWL division, top player is Ryan Chapita with a 5-0 win record and a spread of 901, which has got to be one of the highest spreads I've ever seen in a serious tournament. CSW was a little more closely contested, with nobody winning all 5 games, but nothing with Tentacle winning 4 out of the 5. But yes, thank you, CyberQuad, for confirming, and also hi, and hope you're enjoying the stream. Gerard Men says, any favourite plays yet, Gertchie? As I say, I'm going to have to watch back Will's stream of the first 3 games that Home to Birds played, because I wasn't paying my full attention to all of them, and I'm sure there were great plays that I missed. Of the 2 games I've casted so far, I would say Home to Birds' best play was probably, or my favourite play that she made was probably Dragoons. Although there were some nice plays from her opponents as well, has to be said. It's a bit difficult for me to evaluate opponents' plays because I don't see their rack. So maybe they found something brilliant, but it wasn't immediately obvious that they did so. I don't know if these games are going to be fully recorded and end up annotated somewhere, so we get to find out what the opponent's racks was. But no worries if not. It's all good. Yes, both the games that I've casted so far involved the opponent drawing both blanks in the same rack and then bingoing with them. And they also both involved Heron to Birds phonying twice in a row with the same tiles. So maybe it's time that those things changed in the last game. Maybe Heron to Birds will draw both blanks and bingo with both of them. That would be nice. It would be a nice end to the tournament if that happens. Alice said you have to check your set now. Yes, so I'm not sure what the off-the-shelf Scrabble sets that are distributed by Hasbro or Mattel or whoever distributes them in various countries, what those are like. Mine is made of plastic, but there's also, for whatever reason, North American sets are different to UK sets. UK sets have square tiles, and the spaces on the board are square, whereas North American ones are actually, I believe they're not exactly square. I think they're slightly taller than they are wide. which you have to be careful with when you're placing the tiles on your rack if the tiles are non-square. If you draw a blank tile, make sure you don't accidentally place it horizontally, because then your opponent will see you've got a blank because it will be shorter. One of the reasons that tournament Scrabble sets have a blank that has a marking on it, you can probably see on this picture that the blanks both have a little red dot on them. The reason that's there rather than having a completely blank tile, as you get on a lot of Scrabble sets, is to make sure you do position it the right way up on your rack. Okay, we have... No. Somebody took the score sheet and ran off. That is absolutely no problem, Herring to Birds. My understanding is it's due to a delay from the NWL division. So, as long as it takes them to sort out their games, that's absolutely fine. We're just about ready to go here. I see the tiles being rearranged, which is always a good sign that something's about to happen. T-Vigo says you could also have the old fake blank phony. How does that work, T-Vigo? Do you mean placing the tile upside down? Because modern Scrabble tiles are also a different shape on the back, so you can't get away with that. Yes, Herring to Birds was left with ERR at the end of the last game. Making Sometimes it's fun to try and see where you could fit the leftover tiles into the board in order to use everything up. Put a tile with a letter on sideways on your rack. Oh, I see, Tobago. Yes, you pretend you've got a blank by deliberately placing a tile sideways in order to fool your opponent. Yes, that is a good point, Tobago. So yes, before each game they'll arrange the tiles into these 4 5x5 squares. That's just so that both players can see at a glance that there are in fact 100 tiles, which is the correct number for a Scrabble set. And no tiles have been dropped on the floor or gone missing or ended up on someone else's table or anything silly like that. Cyberquad, you are the virtual player in this sanctioned tournament. Yes. So I think Herring to Birds explained this in more detail earlier, but this is what's called a hybrid tournament, which is to say that some of the participants are attending in person and other participants are playing online from a remote location via Woogles, which is a website where you can play Scrabble. So obviously they're on camera and they're using proper time control and so on and so forth. So it's all done properly to be an official sanctioned tournament, but they're not actually physically in the same room. And this is this the second sanctioned tournament, sanctioned virtual tournament ever? I don't remember, because I know you did one before, and I think that one was the first ever. So this is a very new thing for the game of Scrabble, the idea of having tournaments where some of the participants are playing in person and some are playing online. So exciting new developments, and Cyberquad, thank you for your participation. It is great to have you as part of the tournament. So it looks like we're getting set up for the final game now. No, camera was fine how it was. Just leave it there. Yep, that's all good. Thank you. So let's go ahead and switch back over to our slightly fancier interface here. So if I've read the schedule correctly, that should be Chris Tenden sitting opposite Heidi. And Heidi says, you did actually lose a tile earlier. Yes, but yes, best of luck, Heidi. Hope this game goes well. I'm sure we'll talk a little bit after the final game. Camera is going on the magical journey again. Usually they make it worse when they do this. Okay, I think that's still good. Yes, you like the purple tiles, do you, Alice? And I guess the green table is quite a nice touch as well. They've definitely made it a colourful game, and a nice pink bag as well. Meanwhile, I'm here with my grey and darker grey stream overlay. In my defence, that's because that's what Woogles does. Woogles' colour scheme is grey and more grey. And this is not a real overlay, as you can see if I scroll. I'm actually just using the Woogles website behind the scenes. Anyway, we have some tiles. Okay, and How Into Birds is going first. So we have ROGGAOA. So no bingos available. Probably just want to play at least one A, at least one O to undouble your vowels. What does the computer suggest? Okay, computer suggests a good. Putting the D onto the double letter score to maximise your points, but you could play it in various other places. The word droog is also available, but that's less good because it keeps 2 A's. And then, yeah, other than that, there's only 3 or 4 letter words available. So that's an option. You could also just play something like goad. I'm sure that would be fine. Okay, some rotation of the board is taking place. It is, yeah, okay. Heidi's clock is still running. It's still her turn. The board does spin, Alice. That's quite right. So in a tournament situation, that's an easy way to make sure that both players get to see the board the correct way up. Okay, just a go coming down. So I will mirror that on my analysis board here, which allows me to provide you guys with a slightly better view of what's going on. The spinny board is useful. You'll notice also that the board actually has like a grid of, like the tiles actually fit into little slots. That it's not just a smooth board where you can just put the tiles any old way, which is how the Scrabble board I've got works. So you can spin it round without worrying the tiles are going to go flying as long as you're gentle. I can only analyse how Into Birds plays. I can't analyse the opponent's plays because I can't see the tiles on the opponent's rack. But I can. That was a play of Brant. Is that Brant? So let's go ahead and make that. Turning a go into a gone. So yeah, you do have to get used to slightly more obscure words being played. It's not necessary to play obscure words to have fun with Scrabble, but in this sort of situation, in a high-level tournament like this, you are going to see obscure words being played. That's just the nature of it. So now How Into Birds has on her rack Odarero, and as Quinn has quickly pointed out, it's almost possible to play Toreador, but you would have to start from this T, and there's just not enough space on the board to play this way and fit that on. Chris was showing you the rack. Sorry, yes, he did that in game 2 as well. I'm having to look in 3 different directions in order to keep the stream going, so I do apologise. I won't always catch that, but if someone does echo it back to me, I'll analyse it. So yeah, no bingo available in this position. Honestly, there's not many good plays at all. Again, probably just want to play off double letters with, rural road. The computer's favourite play is actually route. despite things like roads scoring better, and I think that's just because it likes the leave of ADER. So something you have to consider when playing Scrabble at a high level is not just how many points you score for playing your word, it's what letters do you leave on your rack afterwards. And ADER gives you a lot of flexibility in a future turn, whereas something like AOR would give you less flexibility. And is therefore considered slightly less good of a play, even if it scores slightly more. But yes, Toreador is a valid word in both lexicons. Let's get the definition of it up. Yes, so it's originally, I believe, a Spanish word meaning a bullfighter. And yeah, Brant is a type of goose. I know them as Brent geese, but Brant is apparently also a name for them. Okay, and Houndbirds makes a good play of root. Woogles agrees that that's a good play. Right, what did you say the opponent's rack was? CGL PRX blank. So an awkward rack, no vowels, but a blank to potentially make use of. Definition a torero. That's a helpful definition. I love when the dictionary definitions like that are sort of almost self-referential. It's like that old joke where the definition of recursion is see recursion. Quinn points out Seaboard is almost playable from Houndbird's rack. She would need to play through this B. Did you just show me something then? Sorry, I don't know what you showed me then. I guess it was an exchange. Okay, I mean exchange makes perfect sense in this situation because you've got no vowels. Calx is available, doubling the X, which would perhaps not be the worst play, but I can understand Chris wanting to exchange there, not holding any vowels. So Houndbirds has ADAORSE. I think they showed the scoreboard to show what they'd exchanged, but I managed to get it fast enough. So I'm just going to enter that as a pass, I think. And then... oh wait, hang on. Have I started the... I've started them the wrong way round, didn't I? Dope. Right, hang on. Bear with me. Yeah, I had Chris playing first. How did I manage that? Right. I'll try and catch up, sorry. Will actually did this as well earlier, but he's much better at this than me, so he was able to just catch up easily. Brant and root, and then pass, and then it's back to Heidi. Every time I click a button, it scrolls the screen, by the way, which is really annoying. And now on the rack is SARD OAE. So yeah, Seaboard is available. Okay, yeah, my mistake. Seaboard is available now. So that's by far the best play because it uses all of her tiles, earning the 50-point bonus, also known as a bingo. But it doesn't look like she's going to spot it and is instead going to play... that's just ORA, isn't it? Just playing off some vowels, keeping ADERS, which is an extremely strong leave and has a very good chance of having another bingo available next turn. So not necessarily the worst play. So Chris, we don't know Chris's rack now, but he presumably has Okay, yes. He designating the blank as an I managed to catch there. His exchange has brought him a much improved rack, and he is able to play Jingler. Yes, Jingler, hooking aura to make oral. That is going to be challenged by Heron to Birds, but it is good. There we go. So, not sure why she challenged that. That seems... maybe she thought only Jingled was good. But, yeah, Jingler is valid. I'll just repeat that in the Twitch chat. So because we're playing 5-point challenge and that was an unsuccessful challenge, so Chris gets an extra 5 points as a reward for unsuccessfully challenged word. Okay. I've got to... Okay, I'm just opened a text. Right, let's write down CAVATIS for opponent, and then I'll come back to that. Obviously, right now we are looking at Herring to Birds. So yeah, since this isn't double challenge, Heidi doesn't miss her turn by an unsuccessful challenge. She just gives up 5 points, and now has R soaked on the board, or on the rack rather. Probably wants to try and use up that K, assuming that she doesn't have a bingo anywhere. Okay, indeed she doesn't. Computer is suggesting just things like co and car, leeching points off of this J, which is temptingly placed next to a double word score, and not giving too much back by playing into the triple lane, because you could only play a 2-letter word with the K anyway. Also suggesting Cade, but Co outscores that because it's again leaving this very strong leave of ADERS that has a very high probability of forming a 7 or 8 letter word next turn. So this principle of foregoing points this turn in the hope of getting points on future turns, which people refer to as equity or leave, the value of a leave, which is the tiles you leave on your rack. Already deciding to play to the triple, playing ROK, which is also very good, leaves ADERS as mentioned. Okay, opponent had CAVATIS. So no bingos available for them either. Hello Cloyce, welcome to a rather different Scrabble Saturday than normal, where we are casting Herring to Bird's participation in an IRL tournament. She has played 5 games so far, and this is the final game of the day. Jan prefers equity in AMD. Yes, very funny, Jan. Right, sorry, I missed plays now because of that. So the computer was suggesting Vassal Vat, which he did play. Yes, okay. Trying to write down that and also enter the play, and also say hi to people. So that comes down. That was the best play according to Woogle. So very well done by Chris. Herring to Birds is now holding a blank. Finally, her first blank of this 3 game set that I've cast. DETS. So lots of bingos available in this position. Yes, he showed the ASI spelled out. Yes, thank you, Quinn. So yeah, spoilt for choice for bingos here. Let's see which one she comes up with. Is that adverts? Because that's the highest scoring of the options. If it is, we might need to see a blank designation to be certain. But also available was darters, torsade, traders, doters, and so on. Is that a V? That is a V, yes. Okay, so she has played adverts, which was the top play. Very well done. Nice find. Layer size. On Chris's rack, and layer size doesn't play, but layer size takes a D. So if he finds this, then he will once again be well in front on score. Hello, Nespa. Welcome back to this tournament. Request for brief update. So this is game 6, the final game of the day. Games 4 and 5 both ended, unfortunately, with a loss for Heron to Birds, who had, certainly in the first game, drew very badly, had a lot of vowels stuck on their rack. Also, their opponent drew both blanks in both of those games. But in particular, they played a phony, so they played a word that wasn't a valid word twice in a row. So they played it, had to take their tiles back, then played a different, also not valid word with the same tiles. And that happened in both games. So that doesn't happen very often and was a bit unfortunate. Now, the opponent was grateful enough to show their rack to the camera without showing Heron to Birds. So we know that they have this rack. We know they have the word layer size on their rack. And that does form a bingo with the D of layer sized. But it looks like they don't know that, and they've decided to go with just laic instead as a safer option. Hooking oral to make coral. Which I suppose is, it's the safe option if you don't know that layer sized is good. Heron to Birds now has two H's and a V, not the best. My COPQN. Okay. Try and remember that. I've noted it down to remember it for next turn. But yeah, stuck now, not really able to play anything better than just HOH, I think, which can go here for 28, or here for 24. Not seeing anything better than that. Could play off a V if they preferred, but then they'd be keeping two H's, which would be no good either. So no, please continue to paste it in chat, Quinn, just in case I miss it. That's very helpful of you. I do greatly appreciate that. But yeah, unfortunate. After finding the bingo, didn't draw particularly well here. Just needs to play off H's and V's. Hope to draw something better next time. 11D row suggests Aurora. That's a good play as well. That would score slightly less than Ho, and Leave is worse. Woogles doesn't like keeping HILV at all. Keeping the R is better, it says. I think I would agree with it. But Row is certainly playable in this situation. It undoubles the H, which is the main thing that you want to accomplish. Either there's an earthquake going on or someone knocked the camera. But welcome back, Nespo. I hope you are having a good day. I know Heron to Birds is one of your favourite streamers and a fellow Canadian. So, yeah, Heron to Birds is considering Row as suggested by Flora, it looks like. Which certainly works. That's a perfectly good play. Okay, sorry to hear you've had to work, especially at a weekend, but yes, I'm glad you could be here. Okay, and eventually plays Verl. Interesting. Okay, so decides to keep the two H's in favour of playing off the V, which is a valid option. As I say, Woogles really doesn't like the double H as a leave, but it's a perfectly good play. So then we have this rack for the opponent. And I presumably you just play Chi or Chin here or something, do you? Because yeah, plays here. That is where they go. What does the computer think? Ah, yeah, computer agrees with me. Play Chi or play Chin for 3 more points. But the keeping the N is probably better as a leave. So they went for Chin in the end. Looks like it is an N. Yes, okay. That's usually the obvious play when you draw a Q is to get rid of your Q. It's such a bad tile to keep around that it's very rare you intentionally keep it. We now have HNODHUN, so still stuck with the 2 H's. Poxy's W, thank you. I'll make a note of that for next time. So once again, we really need to try and get these H's off the rack if we can. Something like Hound, I guess. Let's see what computer thinks. Okay, Hound is an option, but this word, which I didn't know, H-U-N-H, is the blank sideways, says Quinn. It looks like it might be, yes. I mean, it doesn't matter that it's sideways once it's on the board. It was only, obviously, having it sideways in your rack would give away that you had a blank. I don't actually know what hun-her means. Alternative spelling of her. Okay. I don't think I've ever nasalized the word her to such an extent that I would... Yeah, I was just going to say, that's the Minecraft villager sound, isn't it? A nasal huh. Huh. Okay, the Minecraft villager sound is in the dictionary, everyone. I did not realise that. But yeah, it's also possibly the best play in this situation as well, because it gets rid of both H's and the U. Hello, Cats and Kinder! So glad you could join us. Welcome to a rather different Scrabble Saturday than what I usually do. I'm casting a tournament. This is obviously something Cats and Kinder is very familiar with, but this is my first time doing anything like this. And although it's only a home tournament that Having to Birds is organising, it's still a bit stressful for me, but I'm grateful to everybody who showed up and for all the support for Heroin to Birds. Tibago saying, I don't know any words on this rack. I assume you're suggesting the play of dunno. I don't think it actually plays anywhere. Thank you for the suggestion, and did eventually go with Hound, which was my first thought. It's possible she doesn't know that Minecraft villager sound has made it into the dictionary yet. So we know the opponent has Poxy's W, so has drawn an X and can probably score well with it. Where have they gone? Yeah, playing Pox there is decent. Computer preferred Wox for 1 more point. But Pox is also good. So every time I press the button to commit the play, B-E-I-I-S-W, every time I press the button to commit the play, Woogle scrolls the screen down. I wish it didn't. It messes up my overlay. Having to Birds draws. A-N-D-H-I-S-A. W is much worse in the leave than P, so there's that as well. Yeah, I was suggesting that, Quinn. Yeah, Woogles actually valued the equity of Wox at over 8 points more than Pox, despite it only scoring 1 more point, just because it gets the W off your rack. Yeah, Webifies is good. So if an F shows up, that would be a very nice find. But sadly, there is no F on Heidi's rack, so that's not going to happen. Don't actually know to play here. Let's have a look. Oh wow, okay. The computer actually likes Shah as the top play. Not often that you would play off your S intentionally. When with a 3 point play, 3 tile play, when you've only got these bingoable tiles left. So maybe that's not a good idea. I just because it scores so many points from jinglers, I guess playing an S is worth it to score 34. Also Danish. Yeah, Danish for 39, and as Quinn says, not many S hooks available. That would be quite a play. Computer prefers to keep ADIN, but I would like this play better. Score the points now, might as well. If you're going to play off the S, as I say. Alice says... Alice says, "Oh my God, Katzenkinder, amazing username." Yes, indeed. But also, yes. For those of you who are not familiar with Katzenkinder, she's done a huge amount of work to promote the game of Scrabble, including involvement in many proper big Scrabble tournaments. None of this pokey home game nonsense. So yes, Katzenkinder is a very highly valued member of the Scrabble community. So a play has been made, I can't quite see it, of Diva with an H on the end, is that? D-I-V-A-H. Oh, Divan, sorry. My mistake. I cannot read. Divan, which is a word, which is good. Wait, is she still considering the play? Oh yes, her clock is still running. Okay, not Divan then, in fact. HO is a nice Z hook, if not for the fact you could hook D onto that. True, if you do happen to draw the Z, or Z, however you Americans say it. So this is in fact not the play, so I need to undo that. Quite a time differential accumulating now. Chris still with 19 minutes left on the clock. Heron to Birds with under 6 minutes. She does tend to time out quite often in online blitz games, which, to be fair, so do I. But I think she can handle the 25-minute time control of a tournament game just fine. I think she has a lot of experience in that regard. Changes to a play up by the chin of... Is that Aid? Right, yes. Quinn suggesting Navaid. Very nice find, Quinn. Perhaps Heron to Birds didn't know that word. Aid was what she played up there, right? Yes, okay. And so we had BEEIISW, and they played something up here. Was it just Wise? Wise, yes, okay. Yeah, okay, Wise being the top play. Computer suggests buys as an alternative, but yes, now is the time to get rid of the W, I think. Fenax comes to the rack. So there is a bingo available here. Beefy AI. I love the arrangement of the letters to spell out something funny. A lot of people do that when their games are being broadcast, and I do always have a chuckle whenever that happens. So as Flora has spotted, Heatings is a bingo here. Apparently Garnites as well, which I definitely didn't know. So it looks like there's a bingo there. Has she spotted Heatings? Yes, she has. Nice find there. So go ahead and commit that. Then we've got the Beefy AI. Oh, it's being challenged as well. Okay. Yeah, so this is Collins. So it's surprising how many ing words pluralise in Collins. Honestly, it's most of them. So yeah, I probably wouldn't have challenged even if I wasn't sure there, but yeah. It's only 5-point challenge. I definitely wouldn't have challenged in double challenge, but it is only 5 points. That said, this is a close game. Assuming I've been keeping score correctly, there's only 9 points in it. We now have Beefy AI for the opponent. And I guess just play Beefy somewhere. Does that play? Let's check there. Oh yes, it does play there. Beefy for 36 seems good. They did not play that. They just went with beef in the end. I suppose, yeah, blocking the triple is actually, yeah, that's actually 3 more points. Wiggles prefers getting rid of your Y to scoring the 3 extra points. But also perfectly fine to play beef there, I think. Soletic is what we have now, and idea you for next turn. Thank you. So yeah, this continues to be a close game, but Heron to Birds has once again drawn a bingo. Quinn says it's only... Oh, okay, I actually thought it was more than that, so that's interesting to know. It's only about 40% of Ing 7s that take an S. Of course, that's still quite a lot. Yeah, it's a lot more than NWL, put it that way. Quinn rapidly finding the correct bingos in this position. Solacist or solstice. I actually don't know this word, but I do know solstice. Looks like Hunter Birds also knows solstice and has found it, which is very nice. We'll give her the lead in this game. Let's just check what solacist means. 1 moment. One who commits a solecism. Thanks for that, Emma Bot. Helpful as always. What's a solecism? An erroneous or improper usage. Okay. So somebody who phonies in Scrabble could be termed a solecist then. Solstice, on the other hand, is the longest or shortest day. Is what is going to come down here. Oops, almost misspelt it there. Solstice, very nice. For 64 points. We know that Chris now has the rack of rather unfortunate rack, lots of vowels and a Y to contend with. Probably just going to play off some vowels. Jan says, you actually remember that word. Very nice. Well, remembering words is definitely a skill to be proud of as a Scrabbler. Saved somewhere in your brain next to pleonasm. Very nice. So, yeah, just I or Uvia or Needy. Yeah, Needy is quite a nice little play. That's the highest scoring play. The play with the best equity is Yord, which I have never heard that word before. Meaning a workhorse, an old or worn out mare. Okay, I've not heard that, but yeah, any sort of vowel dump here. How into Birds is down to just 2 minutes 20 seconds on the clock versus 16 minutes. Nespa is an old or worn out mare. I'm sorry to hear that, Nespa. I hope you regain your energy soon. And that is indeed the word that comes down, so nice find there. EEI is not a great leave, but it's better than the alternatives, which would involve U's or Y's or even more vowels. So EUPI, oh dear, EWUPIMI. And we have, so the Z does go to Chris, accompanied by a whole bunch of E's. Okay, we have Wimp highlighted on the rack for a moment there. Wimp does play in 2 positions here. This would be the highest scoring play available, probably the correct one. But there are, and also here is another spot for Wimp. So I suspect she's looking at that word. Also considering other alternatives, it looks like. Unfortunate to be stuck with the dreaded WU and also 2 I's. But Wimp does address those concerns. Did she just play Imp there, holding the W? Sorry, Nespa, Pokemon is not a word, it is a brand name. Come on, camera. Can't see the board. Okay, no, she did. It looked like she hadn't put the W down, but she did. Imp would have been an odd choice there. IE fees. So the word fees, already highlighted on the back, does play for 39. Or for 33 there. Nothing else really comes close apart from just Z. Good thing Chris didn't have an N. I'm not quite sure what Flora has seen, but I'm sure it's bad for How into Birds. Oh, Zane, right, yes. Zane on the H column would have done, yes. So Zane here, so Z-E-I-N would have been pretty catastrophic. That would have scored 69 points. Nice. How into Birds, no using your phone during a tournament. I realise you're only using WhatsApp, but for all your opponent knows, you could be using an anagrammer. So at least we have on-screen proof that she wasn't. Well, it was too blurry for me to make out what the texts were. It was more that you're not supposed to use your phone in a tournament, even when you're organising. Right, what did Chris play? I can't see. Imazid, I think. Yeah. I saw his rack. I didn't see what he played. Okay. This is a problem. Yet just came down from Heidi. EF. Oh, EF on the. Oh, right. EF on the bottom row. Okay. That was actually the next best play after fees. But I'm kind of surprised he didn't play fees, given that he already had it formed on his rack when he showed it to us. So yet here. Okay, I've caught up again. Back to this rack. I assume Yet was a good play. I didn't look at it too hard. Yeah, EF is fine. It scores well. Scored 32. It's just strange not to play Fees when it was available in 2 positions and he'd had it on his rack already. Maybe he thinks that he can get more value from the Z by holding it, but like the game's almost over. 100 Birds is down to her last 6 tiles, so that probably wasn't the reason. So again, you're going to want to play the Z here before the opponent goes out. MZ is available and Wheezed. Sorry, Neezed, not Wheezed. Neezed. I did actually know the word MZ just because I've been learning the short JQXZ words recently. I don't remember what it means though. Such a strange spelling of a word, so I suspect it's not English in origin. Oh, it doesn't know. Yes, yes, it's one of those where the anagrams are really not what you expect them to be. The other one is MEZE, which is a bit more plausible as a word. So either that or Neezed. MZ also plays here for 1 fewer point, keeping 1 more E, which you don't want to do in an endgame. And then, yeah, Me's the other one there. So some variant of that is going to be the play, I would think. How into Birds? Oh, How into Birds is actually down to just 14 seconds as well, which might complicate things if she takes a penalty due to going overtime, because although she's ahead right now, one of these Z plays would obviously close that gap pretty quickly, so this could end up being a close game. How into Birds has the word rune on her rack upside down for some reason. Is that to play it faster without having to flip the board over due to being low on time? That is a valid reason to do it, I think. Meanwhile, Chris still has 11 minutes, so he's going to have a good think about not only this play, I suspect, but also the next play. Now that the bag is empty, Chris will be considering, how do I go out with IDE, if assuming, or whatever letters he has after his chosen play. Yes, M's a Swahili loanword, as you say, Quinn, most likely. So there's not much time left. Let's consider Heidi's responses as well. She has runes set up on her rack, so I guess that's what she intends to play. Of course, MZ in this spot would prevent that positioning of rune. There would still be rune down here if that happened. Yeah, would be blocked by one MZ spot but not the other. Rhine is also available, but that would keep UU, pretty much guaranteeing that she doesn't go out first, which may turn out to be important. If I was Will Anderson, I would be doing some mental arithmetic at this point to actually solve this end game. However, I'm afraid I'm not capable of that. All I know is it's going to be quite close after Chris makes his Z play, particularly if How into Birds ends up going overtime. But I would think MZ, unless he knows knees and decides that that's a better play. Either way, I believe he can go out in 2. Okay, no, plays EME in the end. I think that is. Interesting choice to hold the Z. I mean, Hinderbirds can't play out, but still interesting choice to hold the Z. Does block the best player Rune. Yeah, UI doesn't play out anywhere either. Okay, yeah, good point. That is EME, isn't it? I'm seeing there. So Hinderbirds is going to quickly try and play Rune, except isn't because yeah, she's now got to play it down there, assuming she still wants to play that. Okay, no, she's playing something else. You're in. Holding just a U. And oh, did she go overtime? Yeah, that says -4, doesn't it? Okay, yeah. So she went overtime. So the score is not actually what it says on the screen. She is down 10 points on that. So 402 to 389, not 412 to 389. And Chris playing Z is probably going to put him ahead, I would think. Stupid thing. Game thinks I played out, but I didn't. Okay. Woogle's analyzer is broken. It thinks that the previous player is the last play of the game, but it isn't. But yeah, Z for 37 is going to surpass Heidi's score. And I think Chris is going to win. Sorry, I can't show this properly. It's not letting me commit this play. Because it thinks the game is over, even though it says opponent has 1 tile. Apologies for that. I don't know what I did wrong there. So the final score is going to be 389 plus 37. She's going to be 426. And then Hinderbirds presumably played off that U somewhere. Where did anyone see where she played off the U? Sorry. No. Okay. Well. Oh, un. Okay. She played off un for 4. So yeah, that would have been +6. So 426 to 412 plus 4 plus 6 minus 10. 412. Yeah. Okay. So unfortunately, Chris secures a narrow victory against the protagonist, Hinderbirds. Would have been a lot closer without the overtime. But yeah, interesting. I'm sure there were subtleties to that end game that I didn't pick up on, and that's why MZ wasn't played. For those of you following along, there is a U played here for UN as Heidi's final play. The game is not letting me play this because it thinks the game's over when it wasn't. How far it is a bug for Woogles, I guess. Yeah, that's going to conclude the coverage of this tournament. I'm going to hang around for a little moment in case Hinderbirds wants to say something in chat, after which we will probably end. Thank you, Jan, for the pun. Much appreciated. Yeah, okay, yeah, they're clearing up the board now. Let me just I'll go on to Woogles and okay, hang on, I miscalculated. The final score is recorded as 424 to 400. in favour of Chris. So Heidi 424, 400. Chris is the final scoreline. Apologies that I can't show that on the screen. Woogles is literally refusing to accept my entry of the play, and even if it did, I don't think there's a way in the Woogles analyzer to enter the fact that they went overtime by 10 seconds. Oh, no, sorry, I have that the wrong way around. It's 11 o'clock at night, I'm half asleep. Other way around. Heidi 400, Chris 44. No, Heidi didn't win. Heidi definitely didn't win. Yeah, I'm sorry I'm so bad at casting, but in my defense, usually your board analyzer isn't supposed to just break on you and not let you commit a play. I've never had that happen before while playing myself. Yeah, sorry, I'm trying to go into mod view and delete that comment, but I can't even manage that. Because I had to pop out the chat, because if I put the feed in a background window, then that would cause it to go black because it's a web browser. Pop the chat back in, go to mod view, delete this message. Why can I? Okay, can you not delete the broadcaster's messages on? Yeah, okay. Can't delete broadcaster's messages with mod view, which is a bit rubbish of Twitch. Honestly, I'm not sure how that has survived this long. Right. Sorry, that ended a bit worse than I hoped it would, but in my defence, I think that's a bug in Woogles. Because I accidentally entered the rack wrong, it decided the game has ended and wouldn't allow me to go back and revise it even after. Now, I can rewind as many turns as I like, and I still can't commit a play here. It still says can only pass or challenge. That's not true. My opponent still has a tile left. So, yeah, sorry about that. I won't be doing this again, most likely, because more professional people will be selected for the job, no doubt. I don't know if Heidi... Justin Dude says put the on the road. No, Dustin, the racks. Let me screen share what I'm actually seeing. The racks are correct, Dustin. Opponent has U on their rack. This person has DI on their rack after playing Z. The racks are both correct. Neither rack is empty after the play, and it won't let me make the play because I incorrectly typed one of the racks the first time. This is just, Wiggles is just broken, and it's annoying that I can't show the final state of the game. I mean, if you just... if you imagine there being a U on this tile, then that's how the game ended. And the score, I even managed to fuck up the score. It was 424 to 400 in Chris's favour, and Twitch won't let me delete my own messages from my own stream, which is weird. Anyway... thank you everybody for watching. Doesn't look like Heidi is going to come back into chat, so let's end it there, I guess. Oh no, Heidi is going to... I don't have the sound on, so I can't hear you if you're saying something.
She can hear audio. Like if she pulls in the audio.
Right, yeah, I'm pulling in the audio now.
Is that her? Yay. Okay, now I have to turn off other audio in the room. Okay, so yeah, just trying to get everything finished up here. And then prize ceremony, but it might take me a while, so I don't know if you want to hang around until I get things sorted. It might be a while.
I'm probably going to raid out,
anyways,
but
or if you want to sign up, Gertie, I really, really appreciate doing everything.
I can raid to you if you want to do
we had
prize
Arthur
ceremony
Berger
on your stream.
remotely in Florida doing the monitoring for us, the off-site monitoring of the virtual games. So that was cool. And if we look at the standings right now, I think I still have things to put in, but in Collins I did dead last, so as expected. I suck at these things so much. Whatever. Hopefully it was entertaining for you. Thank you everybody for watching. Thank you, Gertie, so much for hosting. And I don't know what Gertie is going to do right now. She's going to sign off or stay, but I need to get the rest of this stuff figured out. So there was a mistake, and I got to figure out if it was fixed. Somebody entered a score wrong or something. So yeah, just trying to get everything finalized, and then I can hand out prizes, and we'll be done. So I think it went okay. It was a lot. It seemed like a lot of turmoil this morning. I spilled coffee all over myself. It exploded in the truck on the way here, so I was late getting started. Had to go back home and get cleaned up. So whatever. I tried to do my best, and whatever. It is what it is. Thanks so much to everybody for watching and hanging out, and hope you were entertained. Gonna go do my thing.
Yes, well, thank you, Heron to Birds, for doing all this, organising all this, streaming all this, being the awesome person you are. I'll do one more shout out to Heron to Birds. You should all go follow her if you're not already. Thanks. Thank you very much to everybody who either participated in or watched the tournament, whether on my stream or on Heron to Birds' stream. Heron to Birds will be resuming her usual stream schedule, a mixture of Scrabble, Codenames and Jackbox Party Packs very soon. Thank you, Quinn, for the 100 bits. The alert didn't go off because I didn't have alerts set up on that overlay I've just made. So let's do the alert there. Just for the sake of it, thank you very much for that, Quinn. We will be raiding out now. Let's just quickly give a flower to Nesper, which I have to do like this because my bot is broken. Enjoy your Rosebay Willow Herb. And I hope to see you all again next week when we return to normality and just start playing Scrabble against viewers again. Let's have a look for somebody to raid. I'm happy to take suggestions for raid targets if anybody has anything in mind. What do we have going on? Y2J Alive, I have raided them before. There's a Rubik's Cube stream going on. I don't think there's anything else Scrabble related happening. Apart from Studycade, which is one of these Infinity Words 24/7 streams. Debago suggests Dragon Girl. Why is your butt broken? It isn't, Jan. My bot is broken. I think you know what I meant. Okay. Yeah, we could raid the dragon, actually. That's true. Debago, good suggestion. As long as she's not about to end, because it's quite late for her. No, she's been going 6.5 hours, but doesn't look like she's ending just yet. So, yeah. This is completely unrelated to Scrabble, but it's a long-time friend of mine and a very committed streamer who's been doing this for years and years. So I like to spread some love every now and then. Let's go and raid Dragon Girl _89, who's playing some sort of survival open world crafting game. She usually is. Um, you heard but, Jan, but it was quite obvious I meant to say bot. If you would like to spam a raid message in chat, please use this one. Or don't, or make up your own. I don't mind either way. Thank you, T-Bago, for doing the message. Yes, I will be back tomorrow with some Tetrabot and Co. Starting, as I always do, around 8 p.m. UK time, 9 p.m. European time, 3 p.m. Eastern time. I'll be back next Friday with some Dwarf Romantic and some Monsters Expedition, both puzzle games that I'm doing a long playthrough of over many streams. I will be hurting the jammies tomorrow, Matcha, don't worry. And more importantly, I'll be back same time, same place next week with some more Scrabble. And we'll be back to our regular challenging viewers to games and losing horribly. Thank you everybody for watching, and bye for now.